Join me as I dive into the story of Job and try to uncover what really happens in this ancient tale of faith and struggle. In this video, you'll discover the profound story of Job, a man who faced unimaginable trials and maintained his faith amidst suffering. Job was a prosperous man, living a cozy life in the land of Uz. He had a big family, thousands of animals, and a vast amount of wealth. But everything changed when God allowed Satan to test Job's faith. In a matter of days, Job lost everything: his livestock, his health, and even his children. This raises a question that has puzzled people for centuries: why do bad things happen to good people? Job's world was turned upside down, and he was left with nothing but his grief and his wife, who urged him to curse God and die. But Job refused to give up on his faith, even when his friends and family abandoned him. He sat in ashes, scraping his sores with broken pottery, and cried out to God for answers. As Job struggled to make sense of his suffering, his friends Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar came to visit him, offering their own explanations for his troubles. They told him that he must have sinned against God, that his children must have been wicked, and that God was punishing him for his own wrongdoing. But Job knew that he was innocent, and that God was not punishing him for any sin. Job's friends offered various explanations for his suffering, but he remained unsatisfied with their answers. He insisted that God owed him an explanation, and that he wanted to present his case before him. Job's pursuit of answers was not driven by anger or bitterness, but by a deep desire to understand God's ways. Job's dialogues with his friends are some of the most profound and poetic passages in the Bible. He lamented the brevity of life, the cruelty of fate, and the silence of God. But beneath his laments, Job's faith remained unshaken. He knew that God was not distant or uncaring, but that he was working out a plan that Job could not yet see. As Job's friends continued to offer their counsel, God finally intervened, speaking to Job out of a whirlwind. But instead of giving Job the answers he sought, God asked him a series of questions that challenged Job's understanding of the universe. God asked Job about the creation of the world, the movements of the stars, and the nature of the sea monsters. Job realized that he was just a small part of a vast and complex creation, and that God's ways were beyond human comprehension. God's questions were not meant to intimidate or silence Job, but to deepen his understanding of the divine perspective. Job was forced to confront the limits of his own knowledge and wisdom, and to acknowledge the mystery and majesty of God. As he listened to God's voice, Job's pride and self-righteousness melted away, and he was humbled by the experience. In the end, God restored Job's fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. Job's health was restored, he had a new family, and his wealth was replenished. But more importantly, Job had gained a deeper understanding of God's nature and purposes. He learned that faith is not about getting answers, but about trusting in the goodness and wisdom of God. Job's story concludes with a powerful message about faith, endurance, and the complexity of suffering.
Job's story reminds us that even in our darkest times, faith can be our strength. No matter what you're facing, hold on to hope. If Job could trust, so can we. Are you feeling inspired by Job's story? Like, share, and follow for more inspiration. Thanks for listening.